If you've already seen the trailer for Star Wars Terrifying Tales, then no further spoilers in this review, no problem. Yes, I'm vaguely going to discuss things, and that includes stuff already revealed in the trailer, so if you haven't seen it yet and you want to go in absolutely cold, then you had your light warning. LEGO Star Wars Terrifying Tales is a Disney Plus Halloween special, and it's something Star Wars, so I can imagine we're incredibly excited, but it's also with LEGO. Now, I think LEGO is pretty cool, and it was a big part of my childhood. But yeah, if we look at things like the LEGO Holiday Special we got last Christmas, yeah, stuff like that doesn't really do much for me, but should we get excited about this one? Hi fellow Disney Plus watchers, this is Thoughts After a Disney Plus Watch, where we review everything new Disney Plus coming out, and I'm glad you're watching the channel that's all about Disney Plus movies and TV shows. Now, if we compare it to the Star Wars Holiday Special, I think this one is definitely more imaginative and creative with the Star Wars lore. It definitely presents some stories, because this TV special is ultimately a compilation of 3 short stories told within this story about Poe Dameron and Vaders Castle, but it definitely tells some stories that I almost would consider adding into my headcanon, because there is some cool stuff going on here. This TV special is essentially a celebration of the dark side of Star Wars, and of course there's not anything in this film that is truly scary for anyone, I would imagine. So I guess you can see this with anyone. But this TV special is maybe even more for the hardcore fans than for the kids, and I like that about it. But yes, just as anything I've ever seen from LEGO Star Wars, it can get too silly too quickly. I mean, I absolutely knocked on the What If episode about Party Thor last week because it was such a parody on Marvel, and LEGO Star Wars will also always be a parody on Star Wars. Difference with that Party Thor episode though is that that one is part of a series that's also about world-ending threats and serious stuff. But let's get back on topic. Personally, before I saw this TV special, I didn't see the trailer for it, so when the story about Ben Solo started and we see him training and all that, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I immediately wondered, will this fit into my headcanon? And no, not quite. Funny thing is that 2 of these 3 stories in this film come really close, but undermine it with a few quick scenes or jokes here and there that makes what happens just a little too unbelievable. But yeah, we do get a version of some kind of origin story for the Knights of Ren, and yes, we do get more Knights of Ren than we got in the entirety of the sequel trilogy. Something that a lot of you are probably thinking about, but I'm pretty positive we get more screen time from them here than we ever had. And I love that the Knights of Ren are depicted as motor club bandits. It fits perfectly. It's a silly translation to what they would be like in real life, essentially. Also, one of the 3 stories involves General Grievous, and for me, he kind of was the most geeky part of the episode, and he translated the best into Lego out of all of the characters. This is the most lore-heavy Lego Star Wars product I've seen. It combines prequel elements, original trilogy elements, and of course, sequel trilogy elements, because it's taking place after the sequel trilogy. I know some of you don't like that, but it's the reality, and not in any way, shape, or form a given that is holding this film back, because it's chock full of lore references from all of Star Wars. Don't really worry about that it's from the sequels or after the sequels. I mean, we get zombie Roger battle droids, they absolutely work, and maybe contrary to what you might think, yes, LEGO Star Wars stuff is often a little too silly for me, but a lot of the jokes landed, and there's a lot of humor, so I guess like 40% of the jokes did nothing for me, but 60% were either clever wordplay, thoughtful Star Wars references, or just plain well-delivered sarcastic humor. The 3rd story I didn't yet touch upon revolves around Luke Skywalker and a different path he's willing to take to make his dreams come true. This is kind of the silly what-if story of Star Wars, and is the one out of the 3 that just doesn't fit in canon in any way, shape, or form. That might be the reason I enjoyed this one the least out of the 3, because the other ones were just funny versions of stories that kind of interest me to see play out in Star Wars, and this one wasn't. But it was funny. It was funny. But I'm surprised to tell you that there are a lot of concepts, new characters, and story ideas in this that makes me want to see them in canon. The little boy Dean that is accompanying Poe Dameron, he kind of has a character arc that works pretty well, and I can see him and Poe be a really cool duo in a live-action project. And the concept of Vaders Castle being a VIP hotel after the reign of both the Empire and the First Order, I mean, I would imagine some profit-hungry Hutt character taking charge of a property like this and exploiting it like a sort of tourist attraction. Is exactly what happens here. I believe it, I buy it, and it's a good starting off point. Guys, this 45-minute long Star Wars Halloween special is worth it. Yes, you'll probably cringe at some of the jokes. Yes, the story of Luke Skywalker is so silly you might not enjoy it at all. There are particularly interesting concepts for Star Wars in it. Poe Dameron and Dean, the little kid, worked well together, and it's just a fun time. Nothing amazing, but deep cut Star Wars in a very silly way, and you know, kind of a welcome addition to my collection. No, it's not actually part of a collection. It's just on the streaming service, so I don't have it on the shelf, but I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Thank you so much for watching. I'm curious, what did you think of this Star Wars special? Be sure to let me know in the comment section. Don't forget, if you enjoy the idea of discussing Disney Plus content with us, that red button looks familiar, right? Of course, I'll be back this Wednesday with all sorts of stuff like Turner and Hooch What If. Oh, and of course, there's another Halloween special coming next week around the Muppets, so that will be cool. Did you like this video? Then be sure to consider giving that a click. Thanks. For now, have a wonderful day and see ya.